naučite kako da se brinete o njima.
You're very careful not to pour water on it, right?
Budete pažljivi da ne prosipate vodu na njega.
Now I have something special on my computer.
Imam nešto posebno na kompjuteru.
I got this little thing over my keyboard.
Imam ovo preko moje tastature.
It's not for water.
To nije za vodu.
I was working in the Philippines.
Kad sam radio na Filipinima,
and ants would crawl up the table,
i mravi bi se popeli na sto,
go across my keyboard,
i došli bi preko moje tastature,
and go down into it,
i ušli bi u tastaturu,
and short out whole lines and type.
I imao bi kratak spor među slojima.
That's why I got this thing.
Zato ovo je sad.
Okay? We know that we don't keep our computers sitting on the floor. They're going to get stepped on.
I ako mi ne držimo naše kompjutere na podu, jer će neko da izgazi,
not good to drop them.
Nije dobro da ih padnu.
If they get overheated, they're not going to work.
Ako se pregriju, neće da rade.
These are common sense things, right?
Ovo su neke logične stvari.
And we make sure that we take good care of our computers, right?
I mi se uvek brinemo da se pobrinemo za naš kompjuter.
As you have an Apple computer.
Pogotovo ako imate ovaj Mac.
Because they're expensive.
Jer su oni skupi.
But how expensive is your immune system?
Koliko je skup vaš imunni sistem?
How much are you worth?
Koliko ste vi vredni?
They've done some interesting studies on human bodies.
Radili su neka istraživanja na ljudskom telu.
If we took all the iron out of your body,
kada bi izvukli svog gvožđa iz vašeg tela,
we could make one nail.
Možemo napravimo jedan ekser.
All the calcium out of your body,
sav kalcijum iz vašeg tela,
we could make a small box of chalk.
Mi možemo napravimo malu kutiju kreda.
All the sulfur out of your body.
Sav sumpor iz vašeg tela,
we'd have enough sulfur to get the fleas off of one little dog.
Mi bi imali dovoljno da možda rasteramo buve sa jednog psa.
Enough fat to make a couple of bars of soap.
Masnoće dovoljno da napravimo nekoliko sapuna.
So basically, in one sense, we're not worth very much.
Generalno mi ne vredimo puno.
But in another sense,
ali s druge strane,
we're worth more than anything in the world.
Mi vredimo više nego sve u svetu.
And we should learn how to take care of ourselves.
Moramo da naučimo kako da se pobrinemo za sebe.
Now here's basically a graph of the way our immune system works.
Ovo je više grafikon kako naš imunni sistem radi.
We're not going to talk about all of those things.
Nećemo govoriti o svim ovim stvarima.
We are going to talk about things that we're born with.
Govorit ćemo o stvarima koje smo rođeni.
Things that we develop along the way.
Neke koje smo stekli.
Just some of these things that we'll touch tonight.
I dotaći ćemo neke od ovih stvari.
Right? There's two levels of defense mechanisms.
Ima dva nivoa odbrambenog mehanizma.
There's the local defense mechanism.
To je lokalni mehanizam.
We'll talk about what that is. It's all common sense.
I to je logično nešto o kome ćemo čemu što govoriti.
Then we got the inside, the immune system.
Imamo naš unutrašnji imunni sistem.
Now, can anyone tell me what that is?
Da li može neko da mi kaže šta je ovo?
Looks pretty gross, doesn't it?
Ne izgleda baš prijatno, da ne?
I think it looks gross as all get out. You can say that.
Nešto grozno, ne izgleda ukusno,
Do you know what
prijatno.
this is?
Znate šta je ovo?
That's your belly button.
To je vaš pupak.
But I'd rather, yeah. These are bacteria.
Ovo su bakterije.
You might notice something.
Možda će nešto da primetite.
And some of you maybe really take care of your belly button.
I možda se neko od vas brine za vaš pupak.
But it's strange as you get older, you put your finger, whoa.
Ali možda kad poznajete stari, možda gurnete prst unutra i onda nije baš
We got to get into that thing and clean it out.
Kaže, morate da ga čistite.
But basically, our skin is closed here. It protects us.
Naša koža je zaštitnik da nas zaštiti.
This is part of our local defensive mechanism.
Ovo je deo našeg lokalnog odbrambenog mehanizma.
When the sun strikes it.
Kada sunce ozrači.
Now, if it strikes it, if it hits it too much, you're going to get burned skin.
Ako je pre jako, vi ćete izgoreti.
Which opens the door to bacteria getting in.
Što otvara vrata da bakterije uđu.
But our body produces oils on the skin.
Ali naše telo proizvodi masnoće na koži.
When the sun hits the oil,
kada sunce dotakne ulja,
it turns it into a bacteriological substance. It kills bacteria.
Ono ga pretvara u bakteriološku supstancu.
So this is, but if we cut ourselves,
ali ako se isečemo,
gotta be very careful, because that's where pathogens will get in.
Ali mora da budete oprezni, onda će patogeni da uđu unutra.
Then we got the mucous membranes.
Ali onda imamo ovu nosnu sluz.
This is very important for keeping ourselves healthy.
Ovo je jako važno da bude, da što nas čini zdravim.
Now, what's the first line of defense in your nose?
Koji je prvi nivo odbrane u vašem nosu?
The hair. Yes, the little hairs in there.
Male dlačice.
I just, driving over here, I saw some men, they were baling hay.
I ja sam vidio kad sam vozio neke ljude koji su dizali metale,
The square bales.
one kockaste bale.
When I was a child, I used to, go out in the field and load hay.
Kad sam bio dete, mi smo tovarili te kockice slame.
At the end of the day, you blew your nose,
I na kraju dana kada bi duvali nos,
you get half a bale of hay.
kažete imate pola
Oh,
bala slama u nosu.
got caught in the hay.
Ili pamuka.
But then if you get past the hairs,
I ako prođete te dlačice,
you get up into mucous membranes.
dođete do te sluznice nosne.
That's there for a purpose.
Ona je tu sa ciljem,
First of all, it's mucus.
to je sluz.
You breathe something in, it gets past the hairs, it gets stuck in the mucus.
I ako prođe dlačica, ona će se zaglaviti u toj sluzi.
And then you either blow it out,
Ili onda izduvate nos,
or sneeze it out across.
ili iskijate ga.
But there's something else in these mucous membranes.
Ali postoji još nešto u toj sluzi.
There's an enzyme
Postoji enzim,
called lysozyme.
lizozim.
That's an amazing thing.
To je nevjerovatna stvar.
Now, the person who discovered it,
Osoba koja ga otkrila,
his name was Alexander Fleming.
njegov ime je bilo Alexander Fleming.
And you see what he's got in his hand here?
Da li vidite što ima u svojoj ruci?
Something called a petri dish.
To je ona posuda.
Okay? You got some gel in there that will feed bacteria.
Znači ima neki gel koji će da hrani bakterije.
Then you might put your finger in your belly button and you put it on there.
I onda možda stavite prst u vaš pupak i da stavite na to taj žele.
Put the lid on it.
I stavite poklopac.
And watch the bacteria grow.
I vidite kako bakterije rastu.
Well, this is what he was doing one morning.
I evo jedno jutro šta je on radio.
But he either had a cold or it was a cold morning.
On je ili bila hladna ili imao neku prehladu.
He took the glass off the dish to put in the agent that was hoping to kill these bacteria.
Znači uzeo tu staklenu posudu da vidi da otkrije tu bakteriju.
And a droplet of mucus dropped into the dish.
I deo te njegove sline palo u tu posudu.
It's contaminated now.
I sad je to zagađeno.
He was disappointed.
Bio je razočaran.
Put the dish aside.
I stavio sa strane tu posudu.
When he came back later,
Ali kasnije se vratio,
everything was dead.
sve je bilo mrtvo.
And he says, there's something in my nose.
Kaže, mora da postoji nešto u mome nosu.
It was that enzyme
To je bio taj enzim
that killed bacteria and viruses.
što ubija bakterije i viruse.
Great study.
Odlično istraživanje.
So we need to make sure we keep our sinuses in good shape.
Znači, mi moramo da se brinemo našim sinusima.
Another one of our local defense mechanisms is the stomach acid.
Još jedan od naših odbrambenih mehanizama je kiselina u stomaku.
If you get a virus in your body,
Ako imate virus u vašem telu,
it's going to come in basically three main ways.
doći će u tri načina.
Your mouth,
Kroz usta,
your nose,
kroz nos
or your eyes.
ili oči.
All of which is going to end up in the back of your throat.
I sve će nas završiti iza vaših grla.
Now, if you can get it swallowed down into your stomach, it's going to be dissolved in the acid.
A ako ga progutate, ona će biti uništena od kiseline.
Goes into the lungs, you got a problem.
Ako ode u pluća, imate problem.
Right? The food and the water that we drink.
Hrana i voda koju pijemo,
This is sort of outside of us, but this is very important to keep the immune system strong.
ovo je možda nešto van, ali dosta toga čini da bude naš imunni sistem jak.
But many people like their meat.
Ali dosta ljudi voli njihovo meso.
That weakens your immune system.
To u stvari slabi vaš imunni sistem.
How does it do that?
Kako to čini?
Now, I don't know how they do your meat industry here in Serbia,
Ja ne znam kako mesna industrija radi u Srbiji,
but America is all about making money.
ali u Americi je sve usmereno ka pravljenju novca.
You got to get the animals big enough and fat enough to sell them quick enough.
Znači, cilj je da što više ubojite, da životinje bude što veće, da možete što brže da prodate.
And you got to be healthy.
I mora bude zdravo.
So they give them antibiotics.
Ljudi im daju antibiotike,
They give them steroids.
daju im steroide,
They give them growth hormones.
daju im hormone rasta
Now, all those things are going to be passed on to us.
i I sve te stvari će biti onda, oni će proći kroz nas.
And taking a constant diet of antibiotics
I ako imate konstantnu ishranu koja ima puno antibiotika,
destroys our natural immunity against things because they become immune.
znači onda mi uništavamo naš imunni sistem koristeći te antibiotike jer oni postanemo imuni na njih.
So we need to eat more fruits and vegetables.
Znači trebalo je više da jedemo voće i povrće.
Now I mentioned drinking water.
I pomenuo sam da moramo da pijemo vodu.
Our water's in pretty sorry shape too.
Znači naša voda nije u najboljem stanju.
I recommend we use water filters.
Ja savjetujem da koristimo filtere za vodu.
Now this is my water bottle.
Znači ovo je moja flaša za vodu.
If you can see it closely,
ako možete bliže da vidite,
you see these long black things in there.
Vidite neke dugačke crne stvari unutra.
It's charcoal.
To je aktivan ugalj.
Constantly filtering my water.
Stalno filtriram svoju vodu.
Air is another one of the things we got to make sure we're getting good air.
Znači vazduh i dalje bitan, moramo da imamo kvalitetan vazduh.
Very important to your immune system.
Važno za vaš imunni sistem.
Now the Japanese have discovered this.
Ovo su Japanci otkrili.
They have a special type of therapy.
Oni imaju posebnu vrstu terapije.
It's called Shinrin-yoku.
Zove se Shinrin-yoku.
What does that mean?
Šta to znači?
Taking a walk in the atmosphere of a forest.
Da šetate u atmosferi šume.
They have found that walking in the forest strengthens your killer T cells.
Znači, hodanje kroz šumu pojačava te ćelije ubice.
These are the ones that are fighting for you every day of your life.
Oni su oni koji se bore za vas, za vaš život.
How many of you have had cancer?
Koliko ste od vas imali rak?
Every one of you have had cancer.
Svako od vas je imao rak.
It starts one cell at a time.
Počinje sa jednom ćelijom.
You develop that one cell all through your life.
Znači, dobijate tu jednu ćeliju kroz ceo život.
Then why aren't you dead yet?
Ali zašto vi niste mrtvi još?
Because you got these killer cells.
Zato što imate te ubice ćelije.
These macrophages.
Makrofeze.
That are killing these cells as soon as they develop.
Koji ubijaju te ćelije čim se razviju.
If your immune system is strong.
Ako je vaš imunni sistem jak.
These are killer cells. These white things are killer cells.
Te bele ćelije to su ubice ćelije.
This is a cancer cell.
Ovo je ćelija raka.
As soon as they see it,
odmah čim je vide,
this cell tells them, go get it.
Ova ćelija kaže, idi da ga uhvatiš.
Now this is a special cell.
I ovo je posebna ćelija.
See all those purple dots?
Vidite ove ljubičaste tačkice?
Those are viruses.
To su virusi.
What cell do you think that is?
Šta mislite, koja je to ćelija?
This is called the helper T cell.
Ovo je pomoćnik te ćelije.
Okay? That's the one that tells all the other cells what to do.
Ova ćelija govori drugim ćelijama šta da rade.
There's one virus that only attacks that cell.
Postoji jedan virus koji napada samo tu ćeliju.
What virus is that?
Koji je virus to?
Human immunovirus.
HIV, SIDA.
Yeah. And so basically, it puts this thing out of commission.
Znači ovo više nije u funkciji.
It cannot tell the killer T cells what to do anymore.
I ne može da kaže ovim ubicama ćelijama šta da rade.
And all the other T cells.
I svim drugim te ćelijama.
The macrophage no longer works.
Ta makrofeza isto ne radi.
The beta cells that make basically antibodies don't work anymore.
I te beta ćelije koje prave antitela i oni ne rade.
People don't die of AIDS.
Ali ljudi ne umiru od side.
They die because their immune system shot.
Jer zato umiru od stvari od slabog imunog sistema.
So they might die of the common cold.
Oni možda umru od prehlade.
Because their immune system says, I can't help you.
Kaže imunni sistem, ja ne mogu da ti pomognem.
I mentioned the term T cells.
Ja sam pomenuo termin T ćelije.
What does T mean?
Šta T znači?
It's where it got its training.
Tamo gdje je dobilo svoju obuku.
In English, this is called the thymus.
Na engleskom to zove ta grudna žezda.
So, you make some blank leukocytes, white blood cells.
Pravi se te leukocite.
They go to the thymus.
Idu u tu grudnu žlezdu i timus.
Some become helper T cells.
Neki postaju pomoćnici te ćelije.
Some killer T cells.
Neki ubice te ćelije.
Some suppressor T cells.
Neki supresori te ćelije.
Some memory T cells.
Neki su ćelije koje pamte.
But now these things are beta cells.
Ali ovo su beta ćelije.
Right? Again, this is English. The B for beta.
To je B za beta.
And where do they get their training?
I gdje oni dobiju svoju obuku?
B for bones.
B kao kost, B.
So they go to the bones
I oni odu u kosti
and they get their specialized training.
I oni tamo dobiju specijalnu obuku.
And what they basically do, like I've already mentioned, they make antibodies.
I oni šta rade, tamo prave antitela.
Now, antibodies are special weapons.
Antitela su posebno oružje.
They're made for just one target.
I oni su pravljeni sa jednim ciljem.
What target is that?
Koji je to cilj?
When you get a foreign invader in your body,
Kada dobijete neko koji je napao vaše telo,
virus, bacteria, whatever,
virus ili bakterije,
it's going to have antigens on its coat.
imaće antigene na svojoj površini.
So the body makes a weapon that attaches to that particular antigen.
Znači, telo pravi određene stvari da ga veže za taj antigen.
I'm going to mention two diseases that you're familiar with.
Ja ću pomenuti dve bolesti koje su vama poznate.
These things are viruses.
Ovo su virusi.
These things are antigens.
Ovo su antigeni.
Right? You've heard of E. coli.
Čuli ste za Escherichia coli.
All right, basically, there's many types of E. coli.
Postoje više raznih vrsta Escherichia.
There's O157H7.
Znači 057 H7.
See, in this particular disease,
U ovoj određenoj bolesti,
their antigens are either O's or H's.
antigeni su O ili H.
And let's say O157.
Znači 0,157.
That means it's the 157th one
I O ima 157 različitih.
from beginning. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 157th O.
Ok, O 157.
Some of you are getting confused. Let's make it easier.
Aj napravimo jednostavno.
You know what the grip is.
Znate šta je grip?
All right, everyone knows about the grip. All right. Which one is the one that we usually get? A, B, or C?
Koji je ono koji mi obično dobijemo? A, B ili C?
Usually A.
Obično je A.
But now, when you get the grip,
Ali kada dobijete grip,
it has numbers also.
ima i brojeve također.
All right, here is a grip virus,
Ovo je virus gripa.
and you've got these things called hemagglutinin,
I ovo je nešto što zove hemoglutinin.
and these are called neuraminidase.
I ovi drugi se zovu neuraminidase.
So you've got, did you say your proper nouns out loud? So you got the H,
Imamo H.
and what else do you have?
I šta još imamo?
You got the N.
Imamo N.
So now think about the more scientific name for different one of the grips,
I sada dođete do nekog naučnog imena za grip.
like swine flu.
Svinjska gripa.
You ever heard of H1N1?
Jeste čuli za H1N1?
That's where it's coming from.
Odatle dolazi.
All right, you got bird flu, H5N1.
Ptičja gripa je H5N1.
Now, this is where it gets difficult.
Znači ovdje malo da se zakomplikuju stvari.
These things are always changing.
Oni se stalno menjaju.
So now we got, it used to be H1N1.
Bilo je H1N1.
Now we got a variant that's H3N2.
Sad imamo kombinaciju H3N2.
And the bird did the same thing as H1N2.
I ptica isto H1N2.
So we got an H5
Imamo H5
and we got an N2.
i N2.
Now, with those two factors,
Sa ta dva faktora,
how many possibilities of different types of influences do we have?
koliko mogućnosti gripe mi sad imamo?
It's just like this. It's very simple. How many?
Koliko?
10.
10.
Just 2 times 5 is 10.
2 puta 10. 2 puta 5 je 10.
So there can be a possibility of 10 different types of grip,
Znači, mogućnosti da imate 10 vrsta gripa.
right?
Tako je.
No, let's go down to Peru.
Hajmo da odemo u Peru.
In 2013,
2013.
they found a Peruvian fruit bat.
Našli su peruvijanskog voćnog slepog miša.
It had a virus,
Imao je virus
H18N11.
H18N11.
Now, how many possible variations can there be?
Koliko sada mogućnosti kombinacije imate?
Yeah, 198.
198.
Okay, now, what was the most famous flu pandemic that you can remember?
Da li se sećate neke najpoznatije gripe koja je ikada bila?
I'll give you a hint. It was in none of your lifetimes.
I daću vam jednu ideju da to nije bilo u vašem životnom veku.
Posle Prvog svjetskog rata, after the first
Exactly right.
war.
Right. As a matter of fact, it began 100 years ago this year.
Znači, tačno je bilo pre 100 godina ove godine.
And it ran for 1 month.
I samo je trajalo mjesec dana.
It started in November.
Počelo u novembru.
Matter of fact, the armistice was signed on November the 11th, 1918.
Znači, oni su potpisali to u novembru 1818.
And by the end of the month,
I do kraja mjeseca,
this pandemic had gone around the world.
znači ovo se proširilo po cijelom svijetu.
And these are conservative numbers.
I ovo su neke konzervativne cifre.
This is how many people died.
Ovoliko je ljudi umrlo.
What type of influenza was it?
Koja vrsta gripa je to bila?
What was the name of it?
Kako su nazvali?
Spanish.
Yes, they call it the Spanish flu.
Španska gripa.
But they don't know.
Ali oni to ne znaju.
They just have a fraction of the virus to look at.
Oni dalje imaju deo tog virusa.
But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what its name was.
Ali na kraju dana nije ni bitno koje ime bilo.
Now, I have read some interesting reports on that particular pandemic.
Ja sam čitao neke interesantne artikle u vezi tog virusa.
And today I listened to a lecture on immunology.
I danas sam slušao predavanje o imunologiji.
And the doctor brought up the same thing I've been studying.
I doktor je pomenuo istu stvar koju sam ja izučavao.
There was a pharmaceutical company in Germany in the 1800s.
Postala farmaceutska kompanija u Nemačkoj 1800 i neke.
In 1880, they came up with a new drug.
I 1880 su došli do novoga leka.
The name of the pharmaceutical company was Bayer.
I ime te farmaceutske kompanije bio je Bayer.
What do you think the drug was?
Šta mislite koji je to lek bio?
Aspirin.
Aspirin, exactly right, aspirin.
Aspirin, da.
But then another company came up with the same formula.
Ali druga kompanija je došla sa istom formulom.
See, Bayer advertised it, I think, as a pain reliever.
Znači, Bayer je to reklamirao kao nešto protiv bolova.
But this other pharmaceutical company noticed that it also brings down temperatures.
Ali ovi drugi su primetili da isto snižava telesnu temperaturu.
So they made the same thing
Napravili su istu stvar
and advertised it as bringing your fevers down.
i reklamiraju se kao nešto što spušta telesnu temperaturu.
Well, Bayer took them to court.
I onda ih je Bayer osudio u sudu.
It was tied in court for a long time.
I bilo je u sudu dosta dugo.
They finally settled in 1915.
I konačno su 1915. se dogovorili.
At the beginning of World War I.
Kad je počeo Prvi svjetski rat.
And so Bayer could say it's a pain reliever.
Bayer kaže da oslobađa od bola.
But they could not say it brings the temperature down.
Ali nisu mogli da kažu da spušta temperaturu.
And the other ones could say it will take your temperature down, but you can't say it's a pain reliever.
Ali drugi su rekli može da se skine temperatura, ali nije protiv bolova.
Well, the war's going on.
Dok rat traje.
Terrible war.
Očajan rat.
Men fighting in trenches.
Znači, ljudi su se borili u ovim rovovima.
Getting sick.
Ljudi su bolesni.
And then they'd give them an aspirin.
I onda im daju aspirin.
And they feel better all the way.
I onda se osjećaju bolje.
Of course, they'd be dead in a week.
Jer će biti ovako mrtvi za nedelju dana.
Usually got shot.
Upucaju se.
Or just because of the terrible situation, they just died. They didn't even consider why they died.
Ili su samo umrli zbog lošeg situacije u kojoj su bili.
But after the war,
Ali posle rata,
word got out. You get a fever, take this thing.
ali već se pročula da ako imaš temperaturu, samo uzmi ovo.
Now we're going to talk about fevers.
I govorit ćemo već temperatura.
And I'll tell you what I'm going to tell you right now.
Ali ono što ću vam reći sada,
What is a fever?
šta je temperatura?
Is it an enemy
Da li je to neprijatelj
or is it a friend?
ili je prijatelj?
It's a friend.
To je prijatelj.
And now we have people getting influenza around the world.
I sad vidimo ljudi koji biju grip u cijelom svetu,
Take the aspirin,
uzimaju aspirin,
which turns off the immune response.
što isključuje reakciju imunog sistema.
And people were dying everywhere.
I ljudi su umirali svugde.
One place they were not dying.
Na jednom mjestu nisu umirali.
This place right here.
To je ovo mjesto.
Now you probably don't recognize it.
Verovatno ga ne prepoznajete.
There's a place called Battle Creek Sanitarium.
To se zvao Battle Creek Sanatorium.
Their main doctor,
Njihov glavni doktor
name was John Harvey Kellogg.
je bio John Harvey Kellogg.
He was a genius.
On je bio genij.
And he had no one dying in Battle Creek Sanitarium.
I njemu niko nije umro u tom sanatoriju.
He wrote an article about what he did.
Napiše članak šta on uradio.
I'm going to tell you exactly what he did.
Ja ću vam reći upravo ono što je on uradio.
And if you find somebody with influenza in the future,
I ako nađete nekog sa gripom u budućnosti,
you do the same thing
učinite iste stvari
and you'll have the same results.
i imat ćete iste rezultate.
First thing,
Prva stvar,
he increased fiber in the people's diets.
povećao je konzumiranje vlakana u ishrani.
How do you do that?
Kako on to učinio?
What has fiber?
Šta ima vlakna?
Plants have fiber.
Biljke imaju vlakna.
Animals have no fiber.
Životinje nemaju vlakna.
He put them on a straight, high fiber diet.
Znači on ih je stavio na ishranu koja je imala dosta vlakana.
Now, we eat a lot of refined foods.
Mi jedemo dosta rafinisane hrane.
Means fiber's been taken out.
Što znači da su vlakna izvučena.
What do we do with all that fiber?
Šta onda radimo sa tim vlaknima?
We feed it to the pigs.
Dajemo ih životinjima.
We feed it to the cows.
I kravom, kao mekinje.
They eat better than we do.
I na kraju oni jedu bolje nego mi.
So he put them on a high fiber diet,
I stavimo da im dosta vlakana.
had them drinking 4 liters of liquids a day.
I piju 4 litre vode na dan.
That's a lot of liquid.
To je dosta vode.
What was he doing?
Šta je u stvari radio?
He was detoxifying their bodies.
On je detoksifikovao njihova tela.
And he was bringing the water level up in their bodies.
I podizao je nivo vode u njihovom telu.
He would also give them 2 enemas a day
I dao im je 2 klistira na dan.
until the water ran clear.
Dok voda nije svetla bila.
Again, he was trying to detoxify the body.
On je teo da detoksifikuje njihova tela.
And then he'd do one more thing.
I učinio još jednu stvar.
Do some hydrotherapy on them.
Radio je neku hidroterapiju.
This is basically for the aches and pains you get when you get the grip.
To je u stvari za bolove koje dobijete kad imate grip.
Adults, children, they all got the hydrotherapy.
Znači, deca ili odrasli, svi bi dobili hidroterapiju.
I was working in the country of Namibia.
Radio sam u zemlji Namibiji.
This is down in southern Africa.
Ovo je u Južnoj Africi.
And there's this little boy who was so full of energy.
Njoj je mali dečko ima puno energije.
And then one day he had no energy anymore.
Jednog dana više nije imao energije.
And both of his parents were dead.
I oboje njegovih roditelja su umrli.
Died of AIDS.
Od side.
He lived with his grandparents.
Živio je sa svojim bakom i dekom.
I had taken 2 students from America with me.
Ja sam uzeo 2 studenta iz Amerike sa mnom.
They went over to where his grandparents lived one Friday night.
I otišli su na mjesto gdje njegovi bak i deka žive.
They came back and said, "You got to see him. There's something wrong."
I rekli su, moraš da ga vidiš, nešto nije u redu.
So the next day we went over there.
I sljedeći dan smo otišli kod njega.
You could smell death.
Vi ste mogli da namirišete smrt.
So we brought him back.
Doveli smo ga nazad.
This is a Romanian doctor.
Ovo je doktor iz Rumunije.
He was visiting the compound where we were working.
On je posjećivao mjesto gdje smo radili.
Here he is examining the young boy.
On ga pregledava.
This is an Adventist pastor.
Ovo je sveštenik adventistički.
And the doctor says, "There's nothing I can do.
Kaže, doktor, ništa ne možemo da učinimo.
I don't have any medicines.
Kaže, nemam nikakve lekove.
He's going to die."
On će da umre.
Well, that's the way the allopath looks at the problem.
To je tako kako alopatski doktori gledaju na problem.
There's always something you can do.
Postoji uvijek nešto što možete da učinite.
First thing, he had a high fever.
Ima visoku temperaturu.
So we gave him what's called a wet sheet pack.
I mi smo mu dali ono što se zove hladni čaršav.
Wrapped up in a cold wet sheet.
I zamotali smo ga u hladni čaršav.
And that really helps. It relaxes everybody.
I to onako pomaže malo da se opusti.
Then I took him outside.
I onda sam ga izveo van.
And I put him in a basin of hot water.
I stavio sam ga u labor tople vode.
As hot as he could stand.
I koliko god je toplo mogu da izdrži.
I wrapped him in a towel.
I zamotao sam ga u peškir.
And I kept pouring the hot water on the towel.
I nastavio sam da prosipam toplu vodu na taj peškir.
Did this for 7 minutes.
I to sam činio 7 minuta.
Why 7?
Zašto 7?
We estimated he might be 7 years old.
Mi sam pretpostavio da on ima 7 godina.
And you do 1 minute for every year of life.
I vi radite 1 minut za svaku godinu.
Up until when you're teenage years.
I dok ne budete tinejdžeri.
When I got done, I poured cold water all over his
I
body.
posle kad sam završio stavio sam malo hladne vode na njegovo telo.
Both of those things wake up the immune system.
I I oba dve te stvari probude imunni sistem.
The doctor dried them off.